A transient breath thou takest for thy soul. So your brief life, that you call is a soul, born from a gas, a plasm, a sperm, a gene, a magnified image of man's mind for God, a shadow of thyself thrown upon space. So, after all, it is the mental imagination which is projected on the wall, and you call that God. It is your own shadow that you see and call it God. There is really no God at all there. If you are not there, the God does not exist at all. A shadow of thyself thrown upon space, interposed between the upper and nether void. Thy consciousness reflects the world around in the distorting mirror of ignorance, or upwards turns to catch imagined stars. Imagine stars. There are really no stars, but you imagine them. You are talking of stars because there is ignorance, because there is night. Interposed between the upper and nether void. Now he is admitting that he is void alone, is not the void. Maybe there is somebody else also, which is absolutely non-manifest, therefore it is a void. Between the first nothingness and the last nothingness. He stands as being from the last nothingness, thinking coming up, but there could also be perhaps another nothingness, the first nothingness. Interposed between the upper and nether void. Upper void, the non-manifest supreme. The nether void, the non-manifest, has disappeared into non-manifest. Thy consciousness reflects the world around in the distorting mirror of ignorance, and therefore you are in between hanging in ignorance, and therefore this is a distortion of ignorance. So actually, when you look at the mirror, you see your own image. Is it really the true image of yours? It is not. It is not. Not only it is ulta pilta, inverted and all that thing, you really don't know whether it is a totally non-interactive mirror. Whether there are distortions, there are ups and downs in the mirror which will cause minute distortions and all that thing you see. It may not be. You are happy, but that may not be really your true image. Because you assume that the mirror is a non-interactive medium. When you are throwing yourself on that thing, your image itself is perhaps distorted. The surface may not be absolutely plain, absolutely transparent. It may not be neutral to all the shades of light. Some light is prominent, some light is suppressed and that kind of a thing. So it may not be really true image of yours at all. So the mirror is always a distorted mirror. You cannot have a true mirror at all, you see. In fact, that's the whole problem. In the distorting mirror of ignorance, so that is what mirror is. Ignorance is there present already in the mirror. In that sense. Huh? You think you are happy, but it is not so. See? You feel it may not be so. You are assuming that the mirror is perfect. A photographer is taking your photo. What a beautiful photo. But you don't know how many stages through which the whole process goes, and at every stage there can be distortion, there can be departures from the original. Even in an eye, there can be departures from every stage, you see. You are not really your true self there. The famous image of Plato's cave, the world of ideas. He says that all what we are here is nothing but an image cast on a wall in the cave. You are sitting in a cave, and you have absolutely nothing available. What is there behind you? Now, behind the cave, there is a small little window through which the light can come, and it is projected on the cave wall. And people come and go, the cars rush through, and the camels move, and all that kind of thing. And you see everything happening on the wall. And that you call as the world of ideas projected in your world. Yeah, God is like this, the camels are like that, the cars are like that, they are moving. Now, the point is, again, Plato is assuming that that wall on the cave is distortion free. That the light which is coming here is not going to give rise to changes in what that object is. You see, it is bound to happen. The distortions are bound to happen. If the cave wall is absolutely flat, if there are no pockets of absorbing a particular shade of light more than the other, then perhaps you can understand. But you are assuming it. You have no way of checking whether it is true. So, the image which is cast on the wall of the cave is not really the true image of the ideal which is there behind. The camel which is going behind you may be a different creature altogether, and what you are seeing is the camel moving on the wall there. And you are happy, but that camel and that camel, there may be a difference of world between the two. So that is how the image gets distorted in our conception, in factual life also, in the objective life, as well as in terms of interpretation through our mental faculties. There is bound to be distortion. You have an image of God, and you want to see the image of God in your own image that way. It's not true. You are quite far away. It is only by some other kind of identity of the object that you can get the true knowledge about the object. Not without that. There is bound to be a difference between the subjective and the objective in that sense. Interposed between the upper and nether void, the consciousness reflects the void, reflects the world around in the distorting mirror of ignorance, or upwards turns to catch its imagined stars. Or if a half-truth is playing with the earth, throwing its light on a dark, shadowy ground, it touches only and leaves a luminous smudge. It's true. Same image again. Immortality thou claimest for thy spirit, but immortality for imperfect man. A God who hurts himself at every step. So what is the definition of man? The definition of God is, he is one who hurts himself at every step. He is hurting himself at every step. Imperfect man. Man, a God who hurts himself at every step. It's true. So according to him, he is telling you correct thing to say. Would be a cycle of eternal pain. So you want immortality of that kind? It will be a miserable immortality. You won't be happy at all. Forget about that. Understand things. Immortality thou claimest for thy spirit, but immortality for imperfect man. A God who hurts himself at every step. So like that you say, Apasa, he is giving you a lot of definitions of what man is, what philosophy is, what all those things. Man is a God who hurts himself at every step. So, you are given a homework, write an essay on man, a God who hurts himself at every step. Write a long essay and bring it next time. Would be a cycle of eternal pain, wisdom and love thou claimest as thy right. Well, that is what Savitri has been claiming, and he is rebutting her claim. See, man is an imperfect creature, and he is hurting himself at every step. So, what will he do with love and wisdom? Again, the same thing. Wisdom and love thou claimest as thy right. But knowledge in this world is errors make. What you are calling, because after all he is talking of ignorance, that is the ignorance, and it is bound to commit error because of ignorance. But knowledge in this world is errors make. Now he is very careful also that it is in this world knowledge is an error. In this world knowledge is an error. What is knowledge? A brilliant procuress of nations. So she is a procuress. Knowledge is feminine. She brings things as a supplier to nations. So whatever nations wants, that is supplied by this knowledge. A brilliant procuress. And human love, a posturer on earth's stage. So that is the definition of knowledge and love according to death. According to death, knowledge is a procuress of nations, love is a posturer on earth, who imitates with verve a fairy dance. Very cruel philosophy, very disappointing, very discouraging. It puts our spirit down below. See. But knowledge in this world is errors made, a brilliant procuress of nations. Now, this is bound to be there. Knowledge is bound to be there with all its error. Love is a posturer, it is bound to be there as long as there is ignorance. And ignorance is there, is bound to be there as long as death is present. So really, if knowledge has not to make error, if love has to be spontaneous, free, without posturing, death has to go away. In other words, he is saying that, look, I am there, therefore knowledge cannot be true knowledge. Love cannot be true love, because I am there. He is rather asserting himself in that sense. But knowledge in this world is errors make, a brilliant procuress of nations, and human love, a posturer on earth stage, who imitates with verve a fairy dance. This word procuress is of course feminine. In the common language, it is used for the supplier of your needs. Supplier of needs. In the vital language, procuress is one who supplies prostitutes to people. A brilliant procuress of nations, you see, he imitates with verve a fairy dance and extract.
I am telling him the
What does he say?
The French, yes. Entremetteuse. The one who managed to get, but not only prostitute,
Yeah, well,
get
yeah.
some lady for some man,
Yeah.
She arranged the affair to procure is to get.
Procure, yeah. But procuress has a different shades of meaning also. The supplier of the needs of the king, of the royal family, whatever supplies are required by the royal family, the king is not going to go and buy in the market. Somebody has to procure for him.